Well, hello there, and welcome. I'm Mr. Rocha. I'm one of the middle school art teachers in District 303, and I'm glad you've taken some time to find out a little bit about your students' art program. I say I'm one of the teachers in District 303 because I teach both hybrid art and remote art. My hybrid art is housed here at Redling, and my remote, I teach both Redling and Thompson students. A little bit about myself. This is my 14th year here in St. Charles. I have taught every grade level, third grade through eighth grade. I've taught in the Infinity program, and I've taught primarily social studies. And now I'm teaching art. Before you go, oh boy, no, I do have a degree in art. That is where my degree is, and art is one of my loves, my joys. Your kids will probably get sick of hearing me being so enthusiastic as I talk about art. My wife works in an inclusion classroom in Batavia. That's Kelly. I have two daughters, Megan and Kate. Megan is doing her student teaching in Huntley right now, working on her special ed degree. And Kate is at Carthage, and she is working on getting a degree in theater education. So I guess teaching just runs in my family. Let's get down to business real quick. So, to find out stuff about me, you can go to the Redling Middle School homepage. Here it is right here. Okay. If you go under academics and you go under fine arts, you will find me under the art, and you will find a little description of me here, and it will take you to my website. Okay. On this website, you will find some things that we've talked about, expectations from distant learning. You will learn some general information of where I am and how Home Access Center works. The calendars for art and Dungeons and Dragons, I'll talk about that in a little bit, are here too. And then right here, you can find out a lot more about what the art program is for your child's grade level. Okay, there's also a contract that they need to sign that most of them got me, but we're still working on getting a few. I am also the Dungeons and Dragons club sponsor. It was funny because I introduced Dungeons and Dragons to my middle school when I was in sixth grade, which is over 30 something years ago. So let's talk a little bit about what art is. For sixth graders, it's an overview of art. We're going to learn the principles of art, the elements of art, and we're going to use some 3D and some 2D stuff. Seventh grade, we're going to build on those principles and elements and focus strictly on 2D art and different kinds of art that you can have. And then in eighth grade, we're going to keep building on those elements and principles, and we're going to focus primarily on three-dimensional art. I'm hoping to use materials that can be found at home, even if your child is at school every other day. I want to make this easy. I also don't want you to go spending a lot of money on art supplies. We've talked about how to create your own sketchbook, and the kids already know how to do that. So I really don't want you having to go out spending a lot of money on that. Okay, this is art, and so it's not going to be as formal as other classes or as demanding as other classes, although we will have deadlines and we will focus on things. The main focus will be on themes and ideas. The ones to start with, sixth, we're starting with heroes. Seventh, we're starting with identity. And seventh, we're going to start with narrative. We'll have different themes we explore throughout the course of the quarter. What else can I tell you about art? We will have a lot of choice in art. Your student will be able to choose the type of art they do most of the time, but we are going to also focus on things like elements and design principles. So they will learn about line, shape, form, shading. They will practice it. Every day we'll have a brief practice. So that takes me to what should we look for your students' typical day? Well, they're going to start in their Google Classroom. Here it is right here. They're going to go to their class, and I'm just going to show you a general one. Even if your child's not in eighth grade, they're going to basically look the same. So they go to their class. This will be their hub. I've included a couple how-to videos on how to upload things to their virtual sketchbook, how to find assignments, and then this will be the main hub, okay? And they're going to focus mostly on this virtual or Bitmoji classroom, as you know, all the young teachers and they've created these things called Bitmojis. I'm a little older, so I learn a little bit about that. Even though I am very technically knowledgeable, some of this social media stuff I'm still learning about. So this is our virtual classroom, and let me walk you through a little bit of it. Every day, your student will see this. This is an overview of the entire week. Every lesson that we do will also be linked in that. It will be set up by asynchronous and synchronous days, so they know what they're doing. Then they will have, if it's a synchronous or in-person day, they'll have this, which is what we're doing in class or synchronous that day. It'll include an agenda, the materials they'll need, things that are due, and links to the different lessons that we will work on during that day, okay? It will also talk about the different things we are talking about in class. We will always have a warm-up exercise to do, and then we'll always have a workday assignment to work on. So this is the in class. Out of class, they'll have something that looks like this or like this, depending on if it's a workday or a catch-up day. They're going to have basically the same thing. So they're going to work on either completing an assignment, and this will link to that first page with their assignments. They can upload the stuff into their virtual sketchbooks, and here's a link for that here. They can draw, do some free drawing and be creative. And one of the things I really want them to do is I really want them to start looking at art, okay? Art is about observation, and if we don't know what art is out there, then we don't know what kind of artist we want to be. So I've included some links here to different art institutes and also to some virtual tours of art museums. So those are what your students' days are typically going to look like. There'll be a lot of independent work. It is art. I probably will get them started and then get them working on our in-class or synchronous days. I will stay with them and answer questions in real time and work with them. On asynchronous days, they can usually email me or leave a comment in the Google Classroom, and I'll get back to them before the end of the day, if not, around 4 or 5 o'clock the latest, but I will try to get to them before the end of the day. Okay, how can you get a hold of me? Well, let's go back to the website. If you go back to my website, I've given you a couple options. One, you can just email me or call me. That's easy. I usually answer emails best. It's probably easier than to call me because I'm all over the building this year. So I'm not typically in my room as much as I'd like to be. So you can leave a voice message. I just don't know when I'll be back in my room to get it. Or I've included this contact form, which will also allow me to get in touch with you and see whatever concerns and it comes to me, and I know when you've done that. So those are 2 ways to get in touch with me. I am really excited about teaching art this year. I love art. You can see I am in my room in the basement where it's kind of like my art studio, and you can see some of the work on the walls that I've done. You can see that my family's very important to me because they're behind me right there, and some of the art that they've created for me. If you have any questions, please, please, please don't hesitate to get in touch with me. I am really excited to teach art this year. I am here to help your student do whatever they can to become a better artist and a better person. Any problems they're having, please have them get in touch with me, or you can get in touch with me. I want to help as much as I teach. I want to hold those hand in hand. My philosophy is this in a nutshell. I want to be the type of teacher that I want my daughters to have. I will treat your student the way I want my daughters to be treated in a classroom. Okay, that's the way I've always approached education, and that's the way I will approach your kids too. So thank you for visiting. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day, whatever you choose to do, and hopefully sometime when this all changes and stuff, we get to meet each other in person. All right, have a wonderful day and stay as amazing as you are.